Hello everybody, I'm Divya Vijay Kumar. I'm a publishing associate here at Tara Books, and I'm also one of the writers of our newest release, Lucky Happy Hans. This book was generously supported by the Goethe-Institut in Chennai, and we're really lucky to have Dr. Katharina Görgen, who is the director of the institute, who's also sharing a few words today about her relationship to the original fairy tales and the new possibilities that this retelling brings about. So Lucky Happy Hans is based on Hans and Gluck, which is a classic story by the Brothers Grimm, and it follows a young man, Hans, on his journey from riches to rags as he makes a series of increasingly unprofitable trades and seemingly loses his fortune. What is really interesting about this version is that it pays homage to the older version while also bringing about a completely new reinterpretation which is set in a contemporary dystopian world. What's fascinating to me about fairy tales is that they provide a lot of space for play, reinterpretation, and retelling. I think there are universal themes which are explored in these stories, and they've been carried over through the centuries. Of course, the versions that we might have grown up with may have been more family friendly and slightly more sanitized than the dark and uncomfortable versions that the Brothers Grimm had brought to the fore. But I think there's also been many feminist adaptations and really interesting reinterpretations of these stories for our times. Even in the case of Hans, in the 1980s in Germany, he was seen not just as a hero or as an anti-hero, but instead as a citizen who failed to do his duty, who was simply doing what was expected of him instead of thinking and responding and going against the grain, and it was sort of a warning, the way in which the story unfolded there. In any case, let's hear from Dr. Katharina Görgen, who's talking a little bit about her relationship to these original stories and also what possibilities this retelling brings about. Thanks.
Hey, my name is Katharina Görgen and I'm the current director of the Mueller Bhavan Goethe-Institut Chennai. Last year we were approached by Tara Books and they asked us if we wanted to be part of their publication Happy or Lucky Hans, or Hans and Glück in German. We immediately said yes to this contemporary retelling of the story with beautiful pictures by Maruma, because it's one of the classic German fairy tales that was originally collected by the Brothers Grimm. I don't have a personal story to tell you, because I don't even remember if I read it as a child. That is not really surprising, because I don't remember reading any fairy tales as a child. Not sure if they were out of fashion at that moment or too dark for me, but I just don't have any memory. I can give you the basic storylines, of course, and the ruckedigu, Blut ist im Schuh, or the white as snow, red as blood, black as ebony from the famous tales. But if you look a bit closer, I'm not sure if it's the Grimm's version or the Disney version I'm telling. If you don't read them as a child, I think it becomes hard to get access if you're grown up, especially if you have a slightly feminist perspective on life. If you look at the women in fairy tales, it's all about youth, beauty, concurrence amongst women, and lots of them are pure mean. I mean, think of the stepmother or the witch who wants to eat other people's children. Very dark. Coming back to Hans and Glück, there is not even a female protagonist. We have Hans, and there is his mother, but she just waits for him at home, happy to have him back, loving him unconditionally, which is nice, but she's not really part of the story. The story is all about Hans, who after 7 years of work gets paid a lump of gold. When he tries to take it back, he realizes it's heavy, and he starts exchanging it for other things on the way, until at the end there's nothing left. Story tales or fairy tales are supposed to help us develop a moral compass. They're supposed to tell us how to be, what to do, what not to do. And I find that a little bit difficult when it comes to Hans and Glück. Is Hans and Glück the first account we have for a lessness lifestyle? Is it about being in the moment, capitalist critique, giving away everything that you have to then find happiness? That is one reading, of course. But I mean, he doesn't volunteer to give everything back. It's not a conscious choice. He just meets people who take advantage of him and then ends up having nothing, but being happy at the same time. So is this what children are supposed to learn? That everyone out there in the world is a mean character, there's no solidarity, no one is going to be ready to help you, and the only person loving you is going to be your mother. That's also a bit difficult if you ask me. Basically, speaking about Hans im Glück, you see me confused. I don't really know what it's about, but this is one of the things I like about the story. Because I think we have way too many stories who give us easy answers to life questions. And in today's time, a story that actually asks you to think about it and to question what you would like to exchange against what to find true happiness is exactly what we need.